Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing amazing. Let's take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin for the evening. So, we had a nice bullish close on our previous day for Tuesday's candle. Taking a look, you have a high of 64,510, a low of 63,283, and we closed at 64,073, up $573. So, definitely a bullish candle. It's a very good sign. That being said, guys, honestly, now we're in this range. So as long as we can keep the 63,940, or at the very, least keep our weekly open, as long as we can stay above weekly open, we have to assume that we're going to continue this bullish move up, okay? Even though it doesn't align with my normal weekly timing and looking for, a bearish candle, a bullish candle, that type of thing, we're now kind of, in my opinion, being controlled as of right now by a bigger time frame. Okay, so like for example, for this weekly, we're getting that tweezer bottom, right? We bounced off of this 200 MA. We had that nice wick down. We're kind of getting that tweezer bottom there. But more so, I think what I'm talking about here is going to be your monthly. So the monthly, in my opinion, is what's controlling this current candle for right now. You have this kind of this swing low right here, this tweezer bottom, giving you this really nice kind of situation here. I honestly believe that this could be a continuation candle up. Overall, I'm not still not fully expecting that August is going to close as a bullish candle. It definitely could. Um, but it's really going to depend, honestly, guys, on how quickly we get up to this order block right here. If we get up to this order block, sooner rather than later, let's say we get up to it by the weekend, like this weekend, basically, then there's a potential more so for August to be bearish. However, if we get to this order block, and we don't get here until the second or third week, well, there's going to be a potential that August will actually close bullishly. So we could actually get a bullish continuation for August, similar to what we did for April. I mean, look at this candle for April, right? We went up $8,000. We basically made our low, and then it was just up only for April, right? So this could definitely happen. The same thing for August, especially because you have that tweezer bottom here, kind of the swing low holding, okay? So just be aware that, yes, I have talked about we could see a bearish month for August, mainly because from a timing perspective, that is what's plausible. But just be aware if we don't get up here anytime soon, and it's 2 weeks in, 3 weeks in, I mean, there's a good chance that we're going to get this expansion up, and August is going to close somewhere in here or even higher, and it will close basically bullish. So as of right now, in my opinion, the monthly is what's in control of the weekly and even your daily candles. So it is not safe, in my opinion, right now. And again, never financial advice, but it's not safe to short Bitcoin right now. Bitcoin, you're going to find, usually follows Nasdaq. So Nasdaq in general, I believe, is looking bullish as well. We can take a real quick look at it. So let me take a look and show you here. So Nasdaq is, yeah, it's looking bullish, right? You're getting that bullish continuation to the upside. So, Bitcoin is going to kind of follow that, right? So definitely it is looking like it's going to be a bullish continuation for both assets. Like I said, Nasdaq, Bitcoin, they kind of follow that same, type of pattern for the most part. They follow the same movement. It's just that for one asset, like for example, sometimes they will decouple, and the Nasdaq will actually pump, and Bitcoin will dump or will just stay stagnant. So there are times where it will decouple, but for the most part, what you want to see is for them to be similar in nature. Okay. So that being said, guys, we're expecting Nasdaq to go up. Going to be expecting Bitcoin to keep going up. Both assets, in my opinion, for right now, you don't want to look for shorts just yet. You're more so looking for discount opportunities to long it. Okay. Now, again, this whole idea that I'm talking about gets invalidated if we lose weekly open, which is around 63,546. Okay. But if you look at Monday midnight open, 62,880, that would have actually been an amazing entry for a long, and you would have just gone up only, right? So, anyways, that is what I'm seeing, as far as the daily goes. Taking a look at your 10 hour, I mean, you're flagging above the 10 hour. You're about to get that golden cross slowly but surely. Your 21 is eventually going to start curving up. Overall, guys, this is bullish. I mean, you have all of the other MAs above the 200 now, except for the 21. You're about to get that 9 cross as well. So at the very most, we could come back down, test weekly open, but I don't see us getting below that for right now. Possibly even the top of this order block here. But again, like I said, I just don't see us getting below the 200 MA again for right now. 8 hour, we're above it as well. We got all of those golden crosses, the official golden crosses with the other MAs, except for the 21. So really alluding to the fact that we're going to get that nice bullish follow through to the upside, and it's going to be violent. Once it wants to start taking off, if we do get that bullish continuation, it's going to violently reprice up here. I don't know if it's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know if it's going to happen next week, but for right now, I'm targeting at least 66,482, if not getting into this order block right here and testing closer to 70,000. I know we talked about 67.5. That's definitely another place of a potential resistance line, but I'm looking more so in this upper range for right now because of how significant this cross is for Bitcoin. Okay. Taking a look at the 4 hour, you're back above the 200. You're consolidating nicely. As long as you don't lose it, you're pretty much good to go. You're getting that 21 to curve up. You got to get that 50 to curve up as well. But this is not as much of a concern to me because obviously the 8 hour and the 10 hour are going to hold more strength over the 4 hour. Let's take a look at the 2 hour. So 2 hours consolidating nicely, just waiting for the 21 to catch up to price action to get that golden cross on the 200. Your 1 hour, you did get that golden cross. You're about to get the official golden cross with the 50 crossing over. So again, guys, all bullish behavior, and I am loving it. This could definitely be a sign we are getting back into business and going to have some fun. The 30-minute, you're above the 200. 15-minute, you're above the 200, consolidating nicely. So just all amazing signs, guys. All right, that being said, as far as levels go, obviously you're going to just keep following these levels, right? 65,186 as a resistance, 65,740, 66,482, and then finally at the bottom of the order block to 67.5 to the upside. And then, like I said, guys, the only thing I'm really going to be targeting to the downside would be the top of this order block or even possibly weekly open around 63,547. I want to see us for sure hold that for the remainder of the week. And if we can, like I said, we can continue looking for bullish momentum to the upside. All right, guys. That being said, let's take a look at liquidity, see how it aligns with our levels. So let's go ahead and drop into the 4 hour. The 4 hour, we are right below this liquidity right here. You can easily get up into 65.7-ish area, it looks like, at least testing the bottom of this. Possibly even getting to 66,618 and then to the bottom of this pool around 67.2, to 68,000-ish. So definitely, have some potential to the upside for a very strong move sooner rather than later, this says. Just keep in mind that there is still this liquidity below. Maybe we don't take it. Maybe we take it in late August, early September, or in September sometime. But just know that this is there, but we're not close to it on a positive note. So just be aware of that. Taking a look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour, let's see kind of what we have here. So we kind of got rejected off of this bigger liquidity pool here. It has some red activity in here, which is to be expected. You do unfortunately have a little bit to the downside, about to 62,889 if it really wanted to. I would not want to see that because that would give me some, bearish inclination that we're going to keep going to the downside. But on a positive note, you can see how if I check off the 50x, you can see how there's just now literally no gaps in liquidity to get us to the upside. I mean, this could literally just rush us up to at least 66,000, if not even to 67.5. So we can literally see an up only just gigantic move to the upside sooner rather than later. This is very exciting in my opinion. Now, again, this is, basically the only way that this is going to happen is as long as we keep 63,550 area. We lose 63,550, you're going to have to assume that we're going to start, basically tearing down this bridge and getting into this liquidity down here. But until then, we keep 63.5 this week, we're going to just keep moving up. Okay. Now, taking a look at your order book through open market, you can see how many orders are above. I mean, this is just telling you hey, this is where price is more than likely going to go to. You know, it's going to probably rip through here, and this is going to lead you all the way up to about 65.3 for right now. So a ton of orders to the upside just waiting to get fulfilled. Okay. Very, very good sign for right now. To the downside, you do have a decent sized one around 63,100. You also look like you're bouncing off this order around 63,850. So again, guys, I'm just not expecting any bearishness for right now. This is just not looking like, yes, you could try shorting the tops, but just know that there is a good sign you're going to get wrecked. There's a good chance that you're going to get wrecked with this. Um, Especially if, like I said, as long as we keep 63,550, I want you guys to have that on your chart. 63,550 is crucial right now to keep for the bulls. All right, 15-minute. You can definitely get into some of this down here, even possibly get into 63.6. I do not want to see the 15-minute lose a 200 for tonight. Definitely want to see that continuation to keep going up. But again, you do have a couple spots of liquidity that we could potentially come and take out and use it as support. So nothing really major to report on here just yet. Just the fact that there is a good sign that we're going to continue our move upward, and you even have it all the way up to 68,000, 67. Like I said, 67.5. I mean, this could get really violent to the upside. I mean, you even have it further than that. You can get all the way up to 74, 75,000 if it wanted to. So definitely can be a very bullish month if it wants to be. All right, guys, that being said, let's take a real quick look at our simple map here. So taking a look at our simple map, let's take a look at our scalping timeframes first. So as far as liquidity and support to the downside, you'd be looking at about 63,690 as a first level of support. Then you'd be looking at about probably 63.2. So it does look like we're going to basically skip the 63.5 area. It would be about 63.2. You lose that, you go to about 62,850, and then you lose that, you go to about 62 even. So some levels to watch at the downside. Unfortunately, I'm basically expecting for a bounce if we needed to go lower around 63,690 using that as support. To the upside, your basic first area of resistance is going to be around 64,530. Then you're looking at about 64,710. You're able to roll your way through after that to about 65,4 and then to 65,490, 65.5-ish area. All right, so that's what the smaller time frames are showing me for right now. Your bigger time frames, more of your macro time frames, they usually have been aligning lately, like I always say. Again, gotta keep 63,690 as your first support zone. Then you're looking at about 63,180, 62,850, and then finally 62,220 before you start taking out some of this bigger liquidity area. And then to the upside, getting past 64,530 is going to be crucial. Then to about 64,710 and then to about 65.4. After 64.710, you're basically falling through, so that's a really good sign. Anyways, guys, that is what I have for you this evening. I hope you all are having a wonderful trading week so far, and I will talk to you all tomorrow morning. Take care.